Okay. We all please rise.
I want to turn that on.
We're going to start with a prayer and follow a pledge of allegiance. Please bow your heads with me. Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us together, and thank you for this day, another beautiful day as only you can create. And give us wisdom here and help us do your work, not just here, but as we leave from here and we interact with other people, and as we interact with our friends, our relatives, our family, and people that we don't necessarily agree with. Thank you for the people who protect us here. Thank you for the people who protect us far away. And continue to look after us. Continue to look after Virginia Waters. Continue to look after Arlene. And continue to look after my dad. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on the agenda is acceptance of the agenda. We have a motion and a second to accept the agenda as provided a couple days ago to everybody. All those in favor of accepting the agenda as presented, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. That passed unanimously. Happy Halloween. Next on the agenda is approval of the minutes of September 26, 2017. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of accepting the minutes of September 26, 2017, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no.
Abstain.
That passes unanimously with the exception of one abstention. Next we have citizens' comments. Nobody has signed up for citizens' comments, and then committee reports. Chairman Cunningham, Finance Committee.
Thank you, Mayor. No report tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Chairman Sprouse, or somebody from General Committee. Alderman Gilley.
Thank you, Mayor. General Committee met yesterday afternoon here at City Hall. We had two ordinances and a resolution. The first was an ordinance for a preliminary development plan for property on Main Street for self-storage near the Jack Alexander property. That will come to Boma with a neutral recommendation. It was 2-1. An ordinance to rezone property on the east side of Carrington Road on South Main Street. That will come with a positive recommendation, 2-1 as of now. And a resolution to adopt the home program policies and procedures. That was approved unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, also, one more thing. We did have a slight discussion about the health department site that the county had proposed over on the old Hawkins property near the senior center, and there was, well, I mean, unless anybody else has something to report, we had not been contacted further by the county at this time since the second meeting of the ad hoc committee.
Alderman Gilley, appreciate that. I forgot to read something. The reason that we're here tonight as opposed to last Tuesday, due to the at least 4 expected absences, the regular board meeting of October 10th, 2017 was rescheduled to October 16th. Due to at least 4 anticipated absences on October 16th, the meeting is being rescheduled to Tuesday, October 17th, 2017 at 7 p.m. in the main meeting room at City Hall, 101 Maple Drive North. There is expected to be only 2 absences on October 17th. The attached agenda will be discussed. No other business will be discussed. There will be a board workshop held 5 minutes after the adjournment of this board meeting to discuss the following agenda items: Arts Council plans, proposal to buy the Beatty property, beer sales at Indian Lake Cinema, creating an administrative hearing officer program, a land trade with the City of Gallatin, a lodging tax, recycling vendors, and long-distance landlords. This workshop will end at 8:30. No other business will be discussed. Chairman Brown, Public Safety.
Thank you, Mayor. We had 4 things on our agenda this evening. I had ordinance 2017-37, which is an ordinance amending our budget to accept $20,010 from the Tennessee Highway Safety Grant Program to be used by our police department for traffic calming and some other issues there. Ordinance 27-38 is amending our present ordinance and municipal code, Title 17, which talks about refuse and trash disposal. If this ordinance passes before you this evening, then there will be no more commercial trash burning on building sites within the city limits of Hendersonville. Resolution 2017-38, authorizing the donation of a 1994 International Rescue Truck to the White House Community Volunteer Fire Department. We have a very old fire truck that's sitting there. The tires are dry rotting, and they could use it, and so we're going to donate it to them. Resolution 2017-39 is a resolution to apply for ballistic vest grant in the amount of $27,125 through Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation. We do not have ballistic vests for our fire department now, and that is something that we feel like we need to move toward in the future, and this is a way to get us started on that by getting this grant to protect our firemen when they're on site. So, thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Brown. Chairman Skidmore, Public Works Committee.
No report this evening. Thank you, Mayor.
Chairman Campbell, Capital Projects Committee.
No report this evening. Thanks, sir.
Alderman Petrelli, Planning Commission.
Thank you, Mayor. The Hendersonville Regional Planning Commission met on Tuesday, October 3rd. We went over several projects. Durham Phase 2, Section 26 was approved. Durham Phase 2, Section 27 was approved. Savannah Phase 6 was approved. Meadows of Indian Lake Phase 6, plat extension is approved. Skin Solutions Dermatology was approved. The HUD Water Tower was approved. Lakeside Park Section 1, re-subdivision of lots 37 and 38 was approved. Jack Alexander Storage Facility on Main Street was recommended denial, but I believe that was tied 4-4. Waterford Village site plan was approved. Rezoning request for 152 Carrington Way from commercial property to multi-family was approved. Resolution 2017-08 Glenbrook Way Phase 1 street acceptance minus the paver portion was approved, and that's all.
And Alderman Petrelli, am I correct that the only one of those that come to us is the multifamily rezoning on Carrington Way?
And the Jack
Oh,
Anderson
okay.
will
Good
come
point.
per
Okay.
the general committee.
Okay,
Yes.
okay,
Thank you.
Okay. Alderman Woodcock, Hendersonville Horizons.
No report, thank you.
Are you, have they talked any about presentation to us? I know that they want to do that at some point.
Yeah, Keith and the chairman of the committee are fine-tuning the presentation, and then Keith will get with you to schedule the appropriate time to deliver that to Boma.
Any chance that's going to be in a week? No? Okay.
Where's Keith at?
Okay. Okay. That's the end of our committee reports, ordinances, and resolutions. We have second reading of ordinance 2017-28. This is an ordinance to amend ordinance 2017-23 and appropriating performance bond funds from the general fund reserve account. Alderman Skidmore moves. And a second. All those in favor of ordinance 2017-28, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say no. That passes unanimously. Next, we have first reading of ordinance 2017-36. This is an ordinance appropriating capital project funds, the amount of $5,793,025. Also move.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Alderman Waters.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yep.
I was hoping our Public Works Director would be here tonight, and I don't want to put our Public Works Chairman on the spot, but, and I'm all for the budget, don't get me wrong, but I want to look at item number 6, and I really just want to be sure, and Mayor, if I can address it to the Public Works Chairman.
Yes, sir, by all means.
Good.
Can you, Alderman Skidmore, can you specify what this amount of money is going to be used for? I know what it says.
It's for the widening of Straight Street. I'm just teasing you, Jim. I apologize. I'm trying to keep the light on. Just teasing everybody.
It's getting close to the holidays. I actually don't know the specifics, but I can tell you what we can do. It's a very good question to ask.
Well,
Pat,
if you don't,
I was going to relay this to the Vice Chairman and Public Works, and he may be able to tell us a little bit more. I know he did a lot of the legwork on
I believe
this.
it's also the,
Alderman Campbell, go ahead.
pardon me. Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe it is the portion of the $2.1 million that is 80-20 split with the state of Tennessee on the raising and the widening of the Stop 30 Drakes Creek widening project to raise it up out of the floodplain and to do the widening down through there, sir, is what I believe that is. That's what the bond money's for, to pay that part of that
No,
portion.
I'm asking about the 668,000.
That's what-
Yes, sir, that money's going to
That's
go
what
to
that
that,
is.
that's what that's going toward, to get that project moving forward, because
It's not the widen from the bypass down to Drake's Creek?
no, sir, not that I'm aware of. It's the Stop 30 Drakes Creek is what we're working on at the moment.
You know, it says Drake's Creek widen.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
The reason I'm bringing it up, Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind.
No.
You're fine.
I refer back to before my time in 2012, when we had money for this project, and for some reason, as I read, the money got transferred to other projects. And I want to be sure this board recognizes and appreciates this money is to go for Drake's Creek, okay? In Ward 6, by the way. And it's to widen. It may be to raise the bridge. I don't know, Alderman Campbell. But
It's part of the process, yes, sir.
I just want to be sure we all understand where it's going. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes,
Go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to point out, that one, I believe, was delayed due to the state of Tennessee. We're doing an 80-20 split there. We were waiting on the state to come up with the funding. In the meantime, we wanted to use the funds that were available. Previous boards, y'all have to talk, because I wasn't here either at that time. But I believe they used those funds for other issues that were pressing at the time.
Chairman Skidmore?
Yeah, thank you. And just, I wanted to tell our Alderman Waters about this too. This is just our portion of the 80-20 split on that issue.
I understand.
And that is critical that we do have that in there, because without that, we're not going to have that project. And I know that, I will say this to the audience and TV land out there, anything that runs through Ward 6, Alderman Waters is always on it, and I appreciate that. But that's what that is. That's for that 80-20.
Mr. Mayor, but that was our portion back in 2012 too, the same thing. And somehow it got transferred to other projects. I want to be sure this board recognizes this money goes to this particular project. That's all I'm asking, okay?
I appreciate that. Alderman Woodcock?
Thank you, Mayor. Item 1, I just want to make sure everyone again remembers and does not forget that if the fire hall comes in cheaper, all excess goes to paving. I just want to keep saying it every chance I get, just so no one forgets. Thank you.
Okay, appreciate it. Chairman Skidmore?
Yeah, and again, I just want to thank my colleague from Ward 5 for saying that, because that is such a critical, that was one of the reasons why we were able to get the whole board to pass this, because we're hoping that it'll come in lower, and if it does, there are some specific projects that will be looked at as far as paving goes. And Mayor, I do want to say one thing, and I apologize, and I know this is kind of out of the rule of political procedure, but I do just want to say this one quick thing, if you'll indulge me tonight.
We'll see.
Thank you, Mayor. If you will look, you all will look in your packet, you will see for the fog ceiling for all the paving that we're doing in 2017. So Public Works is rocking. So we're going to, it's about, yeah, thank you, Pat. It's about $250,000 of work. Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, it was in your packet. It's right here. Well, we'll get you another one if you don't have it. I got one. Okay. I figured you did. Did you all, does the other alderman have this? I apologize if we don't. It was, okay. All right, it may be. We'll get one for everybody. All right, thank you, Mayor. I'm sorry, and I
Okay.
apologize. Thank you.
All those in favor of first reading of ordinance 2017-36, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. That passes unanimously. Next, we have first reading of ordinance 2017-38. This is an ordinance amending the Hendersonville Municipal Code, Title 17, Refuse and Trash Disposal. Alderman Brown. So moved. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of first reading of ordinance 2017-38, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. That passes unanimously. And next, we have resolution 2017-34. This is a resolution to declare equipment owned by the city to be surplus property and directing disposal of it. Alderman Campbell. So moved. A motion and a second. Alderman Campbell, you want to speak on this?
Just going to be moving some surplus computers and other peripheral devices that we have, about 46 items, I believe.
Okay,
We
thank
have a
you.
list of them there for your review if you'd like to.
Alderman Woodcock?
What is the website we use for that?
I'd like to see us use GovDeals or eBid Hendersonville, but we use our own website, I believe.
I know we use
And the-
Gov Deals.
We do use GovDeals?
Yeah.
Okay,
We
good.
might use multiple ones.
Great. That's a good place to be
Okay.
for government.
Okay.
Can we find out? I'd like to know for sure. In case someone asks how, because a lot of times we auction off trucks and lawnmowers and stuff like that. It'd be nice to be able to tell people
Yeah.
where to go to bid on those.
I'm looking for govdeals.com.
That's it.
Okay. Okay, okay, appreciate it. All those in favor of accepting Resolution 2017-34, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. That passed unanimously. Next, we have Resolution 2017-36. This is a resolution to adopt the 2017 Home Program Policies and Procedures for the City of Hendersonville. We have a motion and a second. Alderman Hedberg?
Thank you, Matt. I just have one question. I'm okay with the resolution. Do we have an additional person in the codes department that's going to help with the extra work that this is going to entail?
Let's have Mr. Mills. I think that's on, Steve.
Okay, excuse me. That won't be necessary. There is a consultant that's part of this contract that will actually handle those, keep the politics out of the decision-making, and...
That was where I was going with that.
Okay, very good.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Alderman Hedberg. Alderman Waters?
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I'm not like the previous speaker said, I don't like this. I've got some questions. I know I'm the only one on this board who read all of this material here today. But my friend Alderman in Ward 5 is going to laugh when I say that my father, who's in the 4th grade, be careful what you ask for. And I say that because I don't really need to address Steve, if you come back to the podium, or the council, city council, or you, Mayor, but
Go ahead.
explain to me about the 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th paragraph, whereas it is a desire of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, so forth and so on. We're talking about points. Can you answer that question?
If you give me one moment to go get my, my copy.
You want this, Steve?
You got to come prepared, Steve.
Got it.
There you go.
Right here.
Thanks.
Share.
I come prepared.
Before you start, Steve, aren't you the one that had got this grant to start with?
Yes, sir.
Coach, okay. So you ought to be the one to answer my questions.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You're talking about the 5th whereas there, about the amendment. The amendment was to ensure that the people with the most need in our community had a better shot at getting this money. So what we've did, what has the consultant recommended, and many other cities have done the same, is that we've added additional points for additional people in the household, and also added points for the elderly and disabled.
That's on page 46
What?
and 47.
It's on page 46.
Okay.
But, I mean, who came up with the points? Did you, or?
It was recommended by the consultant, and I reviewed it and concurred.
Okay. All right. Page 33. The program will make available financial and/or technical assistance for the rehabilitation and reconstruction. Can you define reconstruction for me? What are we talking about?
The home grant that's already been passed actually describes that. This is just the policy and procedures. There is a provision in the home grant that would allow, if the house is damaged or need to be replaced instead of repaired, it will provide for that. Obviously, all of the rankings have to come in play, and there has to be money available.
Okay. Let's move to page 36. Under applicant eligibility. I got to be very careful how I ask this question, so I'll just let you read number 1. Is it 80% of the modern income? Is that what that says?
80% of this area's median income. This
They
area's,
qualify.
right, you have to meet that qualification. That's very typical with most THDA funds.
Down at number 8, income eligibility, I'm sorry, let's back up to number 6. The applicant must obtain homeowner's insurance. Explain that to me. Are we talking about HO3, HO2, what?
That will be insurance that meets the requirements of THDA to protect the money they're investing in the property.
I didn't understand what you said.
Okay. This is a forgivable grant to these property owners. If they immediately put the house up for sale, they have to repay some of that money based on a graduated scale.
No.
So this homeowner's insurance is to protect that money.
Okay. You go to page 46. Information for determination of points is taken from the applicant's HO3 submitted by the homeowner. Now, which one is it? Is it HO3, HO2? I mean, I know insurance, Steve. So and they're worded a lot different. So what do you know what we're talking about?
I know that this is the requirement that it was established by THDA. That's all I know, sir.
Well, I pulled this up today, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
And I must admit, I'm frightened at how this can get out of control. Here I'm looking at Keystone receives $500,000 grant from THDA, and this is in Johnson City, Tennessee. You know who Keystone is?
No,
That's
sir.
a developer who builds low-value homes. He got the contract in 2016. He's applied for another one.
Am I correct that this won't build any houses, it'll just rehab existing houses?
No.
The only time it will, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
What was your question, Mayor?
I said, am I correct that this only rehabs houses, it doesn't build new houses in our situation?
No, sir.
I'm gonna let Steve answer it.
As I answered earlier, there is some extreme cases where the house is beyond repair.
Okay.
And if it meets the points requirements of the grant program, they could possibly qualify to get their house replaced.
Gotcha.
Not very likely, but there is that possibility. I'm not sure what article you pulled up, but there are contractors that do take on these jobs quite frequently. They don't own the properties. They're actually contractors who are doing the work. But again, I didn't read the article that you were talking about.
I can let you read it. While I got the floor, Mayor.
Go ahead.
Keystone Development is excited to be awarded funds from THDA for the second phase. This is second phase. They've already been one of our Baker Street project. It's a low-value subdivision that he's going to build. And I just don't want us to get, don't shake your head no, it's here it is. But I just don't want this board to get caught in a situation where, be careful what we ask for, okay?
Gotcha.
I will assure you that any control I have, it will not be this money will not be awarded to any contractors or developers for their own personal gain.
I disagree with you. You don't have
Alderman
control.
Waters, he just told you that he's going to guarantee you something, okay?
I'm telling you, Mayor, that he does not have control over this. This is a government. And if I'm a contractor and I want to build a subdivision of low value, I can apply just like this gentleman did in Johnson City.
Let me ask you a question real quick. How many subdivisions do we have that have been built with $500,000?
I can't answer, sir.
I don't think we have any subdivisions that have been built with $500,000.
Have you been to Waterview's apartment lately?
We did not. That subdivision was not built in whole with $500,000.
This,
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we defer this and form some kind of ad hoc committee, and let's get a committee and look at this in detail before we pass it.
We have a motion to defer. And that fails for lack of a second. Alderman Waters, you still have the floor. You still have the floor, Alderman Waters. Go ahead.
Sir?
You still have the floor. Go ahead.
I yield back.
Okay. Alderman Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. Anytime you hear the word THDA or federal money, there's always some strings attached. I understand that. I understand your concern. I've dealt with that before. What I would tell you, just a couple things. This grant is a good grant. It gives us the ability to help some senior citizens, some disabled citizens within our city that do not have the funding to replace, repair eaves, windows, things in their home that is falling apart that will continue to make other things fall apart. It's highly doubtful that we'll probably ever use the whole $500,000 because of the stringency of the qualifications. But for $500,000, I certainly don't think we've got any builders in this city or around this city or in Middle Tennessee that would consider trying to build a subdivision for $500,000. I think the only thing you could probably accomplish maybe build 4 very small houses someplace. So I don't foresee that happening, but I do see your concern. But I think this is a good grant. I'm going to support it for that particular reason. It'll help some of the folks in our community that need it.
Alderman Woodcock.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to offer some clarification. In the insurance business, there are different levels of insurance for your home, HO1, HO3. When it referenced HO1 and HO3 here, it's talking about Form HO1, Form HO3, not the insurance. Does that make sense? I just want to make sure we're all on the same page there. Thank you.
Alderman Woodcock, thank you. All those in favor of accepting Resolution 2017-36, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. We've got one abstention. That passes. We have a motion to adjourn and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. We're going to meet back here for a workshop in 5 minutes. Feel free to go get some water, go to the restroom.